instructional video for demating the Model 100. We bring to your attention the headpiece. Do not lift under any circumstances by the headpiece. There are labels surrounding the headpiece. Do not lift from anywhere on the headpiece. Number 2, do not lift from the black box. That is not a lifting surface. Do not lift from the black box. You will lift from that structure right there. The tools required for this job in sequence of use is a 3/8 inch nut driver, a Phillips head screwdriver, a 7/16 inch open end wrench, a 9/16 inch open end wrench, a plier, and a needle nose plier. With the table on the pallet, plug it into the wall. First step is to raise the table. We'll be using a 3/8 inch nut driver to remove 2 screws here and here. With the 2 nuts removed, we see that the harness now is detached from the table. Next step. Okay, with the 2 nuts removed, the harness is separated from the table. I will bring you to your attention that we have 2 wires. We have wires that show white tie wraps there and there. When you reconnect the wires, the white goes to the white and the black goes to the black. At this point, we'll take our plier and needle nose plier and we'll carefully disconnect the wires. And we'll do that to both wires. We're going to take our 7/16 inch open end wrench. There are 4 bolts under this cushion. 1, 2, and on the other side 3 and 4. And we're going to remove those bolts so that we can get visual access to these 4 bolts that hold the top of the table to the bottom of the table. Okay, the bolts are removed from the cushion and we can lift the cushion and take it away. And that exposes these 4 bolts here, and those 9/16 inch bolts, once removed, enable us to demate the top of the table from the bottom of the table. At this point, we'll take our 9/16 inch wrench and we're going to go ahead and remove each of those 4 bolts. The 4 9/16 inch bolts have been removed, and now we need 3 men, 2 in the front, lifting from the armrests. We need 1 in the rear, lifting from that structure. Once again, do not lift from that black box. You will break it. Lift from the structure. 3-man operation. At this point, they can go ahead and lift the top of the table from the bottom of the table, place the top of the table in whatever safe position you can place it in, preferably a dolly that's padded. During the reassembly process, we will place the top of the table back onto the base, and we want to make sure that we visually line up the threads, top mount bracket here with the thread beneath. Once we have that, we can apply our bolts, tighten them up, and then proceed to the next activity. All right, the top of the table is now connected to the base. The 4 bolts are all reattached. We'll now take the cushion and we'll place that back on top. We have 4 7/16 inch bolts that were removed. We'll use an open-end 7/16 inch wrench. We'll attach those 4 bolts, and that activity is complete. So now we're going to go ahead and reconnect the wires, and we note that the 2 wires with white tie wraps will connect to one another, white to white. And the other 2 wires are black, and we'll connect black to black. Reconnection is complete. So our last activity will be to take the wiring harness, and using the 3/8 inch nut driver, we're going to go ahead and attach these clamps to their respective screws. We want to make sure that we have no slack between the harness and the clamps. It needs to look exactly like that, coming from down to up, and then they're passing through to the top of the table. Okay, with the clamps reinstalled and the harness looking just like that, we run a final test and press the up and down switch, and we go down and we'll come up, and that completes the series of activities for demating and remating the Model 100 table.